What's up, everybody? It's your boy Raiders fan 3179. Now, for the first time ever, almost a year probably, I'm back with Life as a Fan video. We're going to the next chapter. This is the story of me being a fan about WWE. So this is the story of the WWE story about how it all started, everything. There will be a part 2 of this chapter of the WWE edition. So yeah, and all that stuff. So before I get started, I just want to let you guys know that I probably want to go back to videos, something like this, like talk videos. I'll still do live stream game videos, but not all the time because, it's just I want to go back to where I used to been, and that's where the channel. So last time I did was back at chapter 4, was like almost 10 months ago or possibly a year. That was the Los Angeles Dodgers edition. Now we're going to chapter 5. This is the WWE edition. There will be a part 2, which is going to be later on. This is the story, but right now we're going to go with part 1, or part 1 of chapter 5, because it's the story of the 2000s era of me being a WWE fan. So hold on. So anyways, yeah, like I say, that's all I can say right now. So anyways, grab your popcorns while you can, get your snacks ready, and enjoy the video, because this is a story of me being a fan. Now, it all started back in somewhere around, I believe, the early 2000s. I don't remember. When WWE was WWF at the time. At the time, my dad was obsessed with wrestling. Like, believe it or not, my dad was a Mexican wrestler, and he used to love watching WWF back in the old days. Like, the golden age when he used to grow up watching Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, Yokozuna, Bret the Hitman Hart, the Sergeant Slaughter, and one of my dad's all-time favorite is Macho Man Randy Savage. Including we went to the Attitude Era, which I was there at the time, only the last half when Raw is War. At the time, the Attitude Era was like so extreme. I saw so many clips of it. Everything was so dang beautiful. Like literally so super beautiful. I used to watch some parts from WWF, like the last time, all the way when 2002 came in, before they got rid of the original logo and it became known as the WWE. So yeah, at the time, my family were obsessed with wrestling. They loved watching WWE, or WF at the time when it was the Golden Era, the Attitude Era. And once when WWE came in, that's when the Ruthless Aggression came in. Now, like I said before, I don't remember how I got myself involved with wrestling. The only thing I do notice that my family loved watching WWE at the time, which was wrestling and stuff like that. So every time they watch WWE, I always followed them, and ever since then, I've been in love with it ever since. I always watched Monday Night Raw when it was on TNN, which I don't remember, but most of the time when it was on Spike TV at the time, and USA Network, which it still remains to this day, and SmackDown. Oh my God, Friday Night SmackDown when it was on UPN at the time, the original channel, the original home for Friday Night SmackDown. Oh gosh, those were beautiful days, man. I grew up with so many wrestlers like Brock Lesnar, John Cena, some parts of Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, Kane, Batista, Randy Orton, Triple H, Booker T, so many wrestlers, especially one of my all-time favorite wrestlers, my very first favorite wrestler who I grew up looking at, who was like a Tom Hanks version of Monster Jam to me, was The Rock, aka Dwayne Johnson. The Rock was my very first favorite wrestler. Then Undertaker and John Cena took over the rest ever since he left for acting career. But still, it was so amazing, beautiful days, man. Like, I remember so many memories when, all the funny attitude eras, the funny moments, the crazy moments, including, how women's were back in the days, which I'm not going to say, which you guys should know I'm talking about. Now, one of my favorite moments is when Big Show versus Brock Lesnar, when they broke the ring at SmackDown. Oh gosh, that was beautiful, man. Those were the days how WWE was that I grew up watching. And nothing has been changed, and I've been in love with wrestling. I act like a wrestler. Clearly, those times when me and my family or my cousins, we always wrestle at the jumper, and all our family members do not wrestle at the jumper. Every time when they see the jumper, they have to jump. But every time we see the jumper, we see like a freaking wrestling ring. Oh my gosh. Now, here's something that did change my life forever. After years, still during my early years with WWE, all this time that I've been watching it, and this was my very first time watching the most greatest pay-per-view that is one of my number one favorite that can never change was my very first time watching WrestleMania. And my very first time watching WrestleMania, oh man, those good old days. Like my buddy Tim Horn say, the good old days was when I was watching my very first WrestleMania was WrestleMania 19 in Seattle. At the time, I didn't know what was stadium that I was looking forward to until I found out it was on Safeco Field. Including fun fact is when I was playing the Dodgers at Seattle, I was showing everybody my live stream video about the stage, how it goes, everything. Oh gosh, it was beautiful. I remember some matches. I remember the Triple H versus Booker T. That was a good match because it was the H versus the T, including witness Stone Cold Steve Austin's final match, which fun fact is he had a situation going on the day before WrestleMania, before his last match with The Rock, so he left, the company, which thank God The Rock didn't left that time. He had only next year later, including Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels, many more matches, but one of the most matches that I will never forget watching WrestleMania was Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle. Oh gosh, man, those were the days. And my favorite part was when Brock Lesnar did that jump, even though he missed it, but still, that was the best moment. Even though I remember when I saw it, when Kurt Angle, he had to step out of wrestling because of his neck injury. Brock Lesnar didn't step out that much. Like, he just came back, like, afterwards. It wasn't that long. But still, man, oh gosh, those beautiful days. Including, I remember another good pay-per-view I watched was Survivor Series 2003. And it was my very last time watching the American Badass, The Undertaker, face Vince McMahon before Kane interrupted and buried him alive on that buried life match. Oh gosh, man. I remember when my family used to have the surround system at the time when we used to live in, at this one of my old houses. When Kane exploded when there's an explosion on the bulldozer, it surprised me, giving that jump scare. Oh my gosh. Good old days, man. Good old days. And then that's how I've been in love with WrestleMania ever since. However, we went to next year's WrestleMania. Another good one was WrestleMania 20. Now, during WrestleMania 20, I remember we were watching it on pay-per-view from my old house at the time. I remember we had a big group of family members, like some of my cousins and my aunts and uncles. We all got together like a family reunion thing, like kind of like a Super Bowl to us. We used to do that, but now we hardly don't do it because, my families move on from wrestling. But still, anyway, so back to WrestleMania 20. So, one of my matches that I did remember was with so many matches like the Kane versus the Undertaker, some of the tag team matches, all that stuff, including the Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle. And one of my favorite moments, which everyone hates, was Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar. I know it was a terrible match, yeah, I agreed, but hey, these guys put a heck of a run, which is hard to believe now that was their final, WWE match before they came back like a few years later. But another match that I did remember was one of the most not expensive match, but one of the glorious matches, which WWE hardly talks about, was the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Champion. Oh gosh, man, I remember when, what's his name, Chris Benoit, when he won the World Heavyweight Champion, him and Eddie Guerrero were, hugging it out, and they were shooting confetti, everything. It was the most spectacular ending to end WrestleMania like that. Like, literally, that was the most amazing moment what WWE did at the time. And that was like the most amazing moments, which, these two legends have met each other, him and Eddie. And after that, another match, including I also last time witnessed, was The Rock's not official final match, but he did came back, but his last time match before that one match when he tag teamed with John Cena against R-Truth and Miz was a handicap match when him and Mick Foley were like, in this tag team era when they were doing the Rock and Sock Connection Evolution. Unfortunately, they both lost, but still, they had a great moment, and it was all that stuff. And that was WrestleMania 20 to me. After that, we went to next year's WrestleMania, WrestleMania 21, when it came to my hometown, WrestleMania Goes Hollywood. Yup, my hometown. At that arena where my beloved Lakers and Kings play, the Staples Center. Now, anyone's going to ask me, did you went to WrestleMania 21 in person? No, unfortunately, I did not. Well, we could have, man, but we didn't. But we watched it on pay-per-view, and yeah, we watched it all live. Like, we saw so many great matches. Like, my very first time watching Money in the Bank. Oh, gosh, that was so beautiful, man. Including the Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. Big Show had a sumo match with some guy. I cannot pronounce his name. Forgot. If you guys want to go for it, to comment down. Also, the Randy Orton versus the Undertaker. Oh man, like at the time, I thought always think of Randy Orton and Batista were like new wrestlers when they were joining Evolution, but still, it was a heck of a match. How Undertaker and Randy Orton go at it, including the greatest match ever was Triple H versus Batista. Oh gosh, that was so beautiful. Man, I remember those days, man. Including, oh my gosh, sorry, I just missed the good old days, but still, it was the greatest moment that I ever witnessed from that year's WrestleMania. And also it was sad that, that was the last time Howard Finkel was the ring announcer, because, it stinks that he left, and, rest in peace to the guy who passed away about a year later from now, which this video was uploaded. But still, man, you will never ever replace Howard Finkel's voice. Oh gosh, man. So, before I get to WrestleMania 22, I want to talk about something. Now, one of the most unrecognizable moments that really, it really hurts me even to this day as a wrestling fan was the day that Eddie Guerrero passed away. I remember when I was a kid. It was like a couple of days before my birthday, like at the time before I turned 8, when I was still 7 at the time. My dad was telling me the news that Eddie Guerrero passed away. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, Eddie Guerrero passed away. And at first I was like, this can't be real. No, this can't be real. But it is. When I first heard Eddie Guerrero's passed away, it really, really, really shocked. I didn't cry at the time. My little brother did. But it just sucks to see one of my childhood wrestlers vanish into thin air out of nowhere. And that was the start of, that we have to move on. Like, that's the start of something that I seen my very first wrestler that passed away when I was a kid and stuff like that. It's really heartbreaking to see, Eddie's gone, and, I really wish you could have seen how the world is, especially how the new era changes, but you can never go back. But still, it's not the same without Eddie. So, another moment when I was watching New Year's Revolution 2006, which I'll admit as a kid was when I witnessed the wrestling match between John Cena after his Elimination Chamber match. When Edge cashed in the Money to Bank, that was the start. I remember when I was a kid, I hated Edge. He became one of my hated wrestlers ever since I was a kid. But now as an adult, I look up to him, and he was a good wrestler. I mean, he did got me good. Well, I know I don't blame him, because I know it's part of the storyline, but still, that was one heck of a moment when I was a kid. I remember I hated him so much, including I was glad that Cena won the belt, and that's how it all started. That I became a humongous John Cena fan. And after that, we went to WrestleMania 22 live, which is the very last time that they went to, down in Illinois, in the arena show. It was in Rosemont, Illinois. Oh my gosh, man, the fans sold out. It was the very last time. Like, believe it or not, it was the last time for the WWE WrestleMania to come to arena show. But before WrestleMania 23, last time they went to a big stadium was WrestleMania 19. Until we went to WrestleMania 23. Anyways, let's get back to WrestleMania 22. I remember so many moments. I remember when Edge versus Mick Foley. Oh gosh, that match was so beautiful, man. They went extreme, all that stuff, including the casket match. The world's strongest man, Mark Henry, takes on The Undertaker. Oh gosh, man, that was so beautiful, man. Especially watching my hero, The Undertaker, which aside from The Rock, The Undertaker was also my hero. He was the main reason why I watched Friday Night SmackDown, because of him. And when he beat Mark Henry, put him in the casket, oh gosh, man, undefeated at WrestleMania. Including one of my favorite matches was the triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Champion when Rey Mysterio beat Kurt Angle and Randy Orton. Oh man, that was a beautiful tribute to Eddie Guerrero, man. Really beautiful tribute. It really sucks that it's not the last match, but even though the John Cena and Triple H was okay, but I didn't like it that much. I like it better. It should have been the triple threat match, be the last match, even though I don't remember the Triple H versus John Cena. Now after that, we went to WrestleMania 23 live in Detroit at Ford Field. I was with my uncle at the time. He got us into the cable. We were watching it live. Oh man, those were the beautiful days. We were watching the Money to Bank where Jeff Hardy jumped from that top ladder, landed on Edge. Oh gosh, man, that was some beautiful wrestling stuff out there. Including my funniest moment when Mr. McMahon, when he was shaved bald, when he lost the bet from when it was the Umaga versus Bobby Lashley. Lashley won when Donald Trump and Lashley and Stone Cold, oh my gosh, shave off Mr. McMahon's bald head. Oh my gosh. And then The Undertaker and Batista going at it for the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 23. Oh my goodness, man. Those were the beautiful, beautiful days, man. And then the last good match was John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. That was a heck of a match, and I gave him that. Unfortunately, the saddest thing about WrestleMania 23 was the last time, the very last time that a lot of people say WWE died down in 2004, but to me, not really. It was 2007 because that was the very last time we get to see the 2000s version, how the dark version was at the time when WrestleMania had it, until WrestleMania 24, high definition existed. That's when high definition took over, starting WrestleMania 24, and it remains even to this day. That was the last time that WWE used the 2000s version, and that was the very last time we get to witness the last time that WWE used the 2000s version, and it was sad to see it go. Thank you for watching my Life as a Fan video. There will be more Life as a Fan videos coming up. This is to be continued for now, right now. And hope you guys liked the video. Don't forget to hit the like, comment, share, subscribe. This is Raiders Fan 3179. Log clocking out, guys.